Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine at home. Dear students, today I am bringing a very interesting chapter in history part, that is the Delhi Sultanate. Dear students, Delhi the first become the capital of a kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs, who were defeated Chauhans of Ajmer. The transformation of Delhi into a capital that controlled vast area of the subcontinent started with the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. Dear students, the capital of Delhi was ruled by many rulers and dynasties. Those dynasties and rulers as follows. First one, Tomars, early 12th century 1165, and second one, Chauhans 1165 to 1192, Prithviraj Chauhan 1175 to 1192, and third one, Slave Dynasty 1206 to 1290, and fourth one, Khalji Dynasty 1209 to 1320, and fifth one, Tughlaq Dynasty 1320 to 1414, and sixth one, Sayyid Dynasty 1414 to 1451, and last one, Lodi Dynasty, that is from 1451 to 1526. The next main point, finding out about the Delhi Sultans. Inscription, coins and architecture provided a lot of information. Further valuable sources are histories, Tariq or Tawarik, written in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Tawarik were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poet and courtiers who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of just rule. The next main point, from garrison town to empire. In the early 13th century, the control of the Delhi Sultans rarely went beyond heavily fortified towns occupied by garrisons. Delhi's authority was challenged by Mongols and by governors who rebelled at any sign of the Sultan's weakness. The expansion of Delhi Sultanate took place under the reign of Balban, Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The next main point, administration and consolidation. To have reliable governors, the early Delhi Sultans, especially Iltutmish, favored their special slaves purchased for military service called Bandagan in Persia. The Khaljis and Tughlaqs continued to use Bandagan and also raised people of humble birth who were their clients to high position like governors and generals. The Khaljis and Tughlaqs appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying sizes. These lands were called Iqta and their holders was called Makti. The duty of Maktis was to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iqtas. In return, Maktis collected the revenues of their assignments as salary. They also paid their soldiers from this revenue. Under Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq, accounts were appointed to check the amount collected by the Maktis. As Delhi Sultans brought the hinterland of the cities under their control, they forced the Samantas and the rich landlords to accept their authority. The attack of Mongols under Genghis Khan forced Khaljis and Tughlaqs to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi. Dear students, the last main point of this lesson, the Sultanate in 15th and 16th centuries. The Tughlaq, the Sayyid and Lodi dynasties ruled from Delhi and Agra until 1526. By then, Jainpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat, Rajasthan and the entire South India had independent rulers who had established flourishing states and prosperous capitals. New ruling dynasties like the Afghans and Rajputs also arose during the period. In 1526, Mughals established their empire for a brief period. Suri dynasties ruled in Delhi from 1540 to 1555. This administration became the role model for Akbar, the Mughal emperor. Thank you and bye bye.